I'm going to start here with a general reading for health and well-being for a Sherry. Sherry has asked a question, and though she is not here right now, we will endeavor to answer this. We'll start by clearing the air. Mary Magdalene, Sherry asks a question. We bring our mind to the present, to this moment. Let my mind, consciousness, imagination connect into the consciousness, imagination beyond myself, in myself, for the kingdom of God is within. Lift up a rock and it is there. Split a piece of wood and it's there. It is there within you. While I was shuffling the cards of this celestial insight, one card popped out about past life. And for a general health and well-being question, I'm going to draw another card for you, Sherry. You had asked me to do a reading for you. Now it's like a month ago. I didn't have the time at that time, but we are doing it now. Here's another one. Embrace. You saw it. It popped out. Welcome, Ryan Reynolds. Welcome. And we'll do one more of these cards. So, embracing, and this one also popped out. Patience. So, Spirit is telling you to not dwell too much on the past. Be grateful. Be grateful because you matter. Remember, you matter. You always matter. We all matter to each other and to the divine light within us. Be grateful for that which is given to you. Don't dwell too much on your past life. You know what? I'm a Bible scholar, if you want to know the truth of that. I studied the Bible in original Hebrew and things like that a long time ago. I know what you're getting at, but I'm telling you, divination is a gift of the Spirit. Divination is a gift of the Spirit. Do I believe in God? I believe. It depends on what God you're talking about. It depends because there's a lot of different gods if you want to put it into that light. There is the source of all. We call it God, but that's not quite the right term for it. there is this, it can be experienced, because in Jeremiah, it said that the law of God, the logos, the word, was written on your hearts. And Jesus came to show us a way of living, a way to connect up to that logos that is within us, because the kingdom of God is within, it is not without. And Jesus had instructed us that we can heal the sick, we can raise the dead, we can feed people, we can cast demons out. And we think of like demons or spirits, and that's all kind of a part of that darkness. Well, okay, yes, but not in the way that you're thinking, because Jesus is. So I will pause this reading here, and the nature of reality is this. This, as I have experienced it, when God showed me this in a vision, when I was when in a vision, and when in a Catholic church during the Eucharistic celebration. Welcome, Maria. So, what God showed me was, if, let's say, the Trinity is just it is a construct. It's a construct that we use to try to explain something that can't be really explained. So there's God the Father, God creation, and God the Spirit. And all of that is part of a larger monad. So it's not like four gods. It's really all just one. It's all kind of one, because God and the universe are all kind of. I am Catholic. I'm not were. I am Catholic. I tend. I am. My. This, everything I'm telling you is things I learned from studying Catholicism. The mystics, the saints, and also books of the Bible, lots of writings and literature from that first century. So you're Catholic. Well, am a Catholic as well, but I am not a. I'm not a exoteric. I'm not an exoteric. I'm more of an esoteric Catholic, if you want to put it in those terms. But let me get on with my reading here. You're distracting here. You know what? Have I talked to a priest about this? No, the priest told me I was a heretic. That's what they told me. That's what the priest told me. So, anyways, I'm going to get on here and go back here to Sherry and what Spirit is telling. So let me just, I need to go re-clear the air here. We're going to go refocus my mind. So as per you there divination in the Bible, there is divination in the Bible because the the prophets practice divination. They practiced the casting of lots, and they did other forms in order to try to Catholic friends. Yeah, I have Catholic friends. I have Catholic friends. Maybe it's because I've read too much. Maybe I studied too much. Maybe that's my problem. I spent too much time studying and too much time in the quiet, listening. But you know, we all need to listen. We all need to listen more. I know there's absolutely no way you will believe what I say, and that's fine. You don't need to believe what I say. You can actually learn about this for yourself. I know that the church teaches. I know what the church teaches about divination, but I also know that the Bible is, yes, there are the Bible. It's not against divination. It's just against somebody else's, other people's forms. So if it's like Babylonian divination, it's against that from that time period that it was in. You know what? I follow the teachings of Jesus, not the teachings of the church. But there's also teachings of the church, and you can look at those teachings of the church and examine them for yourselves, like the Lord's Prayer. The Lord's Prayer, which says, "Thy kingdom come, thy will be done." There is a kingdom. The kingdom of God is within you, and when you do the will of God, you actualize the kingdom of God within you. And that is through doing the works of the church, like feeding the poor, welcoming the stranger, taking care of those who cannot take care of themselves. These are Jesus' teachings. Welcome, 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 Desiree. But anyways, I kind of got sidetracked here. I hope that you're feeling better, Desiree. Yeah, and so anyways, the the church teaches that we should do the teachings of Jesus. So it's not necessarily are you doing the teachings of the church, but the church also says this. And then now where am I at? Well, you know what? I'm doing this. And so anyways, if I'm going to move on and I'm going to clear the air out and move on because Sherry has asked a question and I would like to explain it to her, what I know. And so Sherry has asked a question. So what I see, Sherry, in your general health and well-being question is that you're spending too much time thinking about the past, and there's a spirit is telling you you need to embrace the present and what is going on in the present. Embrace the present time. Embrace things that are happening around you. Be present in the moment. Be present in the here and now. You have issues from your past life, whether that is a literal past life or just the past life that you have lived in this life. And I'm going to be just saying that's up for you to decide what that means. And then to have patience with yourself. You have things that you're trying to achieve. You have lessons that you are trying to learn. And just to be patient. Because it takes time for God's plan to unfold in your life. If we put it into this language, to that word language, for the Spirit to unfold, the divine feminine, the divine masculine, all of that, what that means. Your past life. Because this one, even before I started this card popped out for you, Sherry. But also to remember to be grateful. To be grateful for all that has been given to you, and to remember that you matter. Welcome. Welcome. I can't pronounce your channel name. And then let's go do, let's come over here. This is my crossword oracle. And so embracing the present, embracing the world around you, embracing your spirit life, having patience, and examining your past life and how it is that you got to where you are at right today. Those are the energies that are coming about you. Now, as far as your physical health is concerned, I really can't answer those questions. You know what? We're not really asking for the future. So, I think I'm just going to get a couple words for Sherry here. The things to think about. Fortune telling is often about what is going on right here and right now, right in this moment. And what these words do is they sort of, so what it is if you want to know, and it's kind of hard to explain it, but I actually read it in a Gnostic gospel about the mechanism to how this works is that you have been given, everybody has been given the ability to see into the super consciousness of humankind, into the consciousness of humankind, because this is a lot of where that healing comes from. And being able to heal someone is to show the way. Because oftentimes you yourself cannot see what it is that you're lacking. And the job of a spiritual director or a spiritual teacher is to guide a person through the process. And a lot of times that happens just in counseling and talk in words. And you talk to a person It's through that talking, and that's how you kind of, and so this this skill, this talent, is also a talent that everybody has. Some people have greater levels of it than others. I mean, I the images and all these things are just things that your imagination latches onto and try to answer in a question. Me, I'm really attracted to words and images. Anyways, back to a word to Sherry. Yes. Thank you, Desiree. So, I'm okay. We're going to do it this way. Hail Mary, full of grace, the Lord is with thee. Blessed are you among women, and blessed is the fruit of your womb, Sherry. Holy Mary, Mother of Sherry, pray for us. Pray for her now and all throughout her journey. Hail Mary, full of grace, the Lord is with thee. Blessed are you among women, and blessed is the fruit of your womb, Sherry. Holy Mary, Mother of God, pray for Sherry now and all throughout her journey. Hail Mary, full of grace, the Lord is with thee. Blessed are you among women, and blessed is the fruit of your womb, Sherry. Pray for Sherry now and all throughout her journey here. Okay, all right. The number for Sherry is 2 and 3, and 2 plus 3 is 5. So 23, and then in numerology, we're breaking this down to 2 plus 3 equals to 5. So we have some different things here. Just in this number, the information in this number alone, we're looking at there's a need in for balance, a balance, and for creativity, being creative, being creative in your expression and expressing yourself, and who you are. The balance between the light and the dark. And when I speak of light and dark, we're not thinking in terms of good and evil. We're just thinking in terms of light and dark. So a darkness might be like fear. It might be like anger. It might be like pride. It might be like the indulging of the things of the body. So in balancing that is the balance between the yin and the yang, the light and the dark. Or it's literally about finding balance in your responsibilities in your life. Finding balance about those things, and you're juggling too many things, and finding that balance so you can have time for yourself, for your creativity, for your creative self, to concentrate on your health and well-being. And then 2 and 3 together equals to 5. 5. And so, in this sense of embrace the changes that are happening around you, embrace change. Embrace change and to see where it will take you. Like a river in the sky, a river on the earth, jumping into the river on the earth and flowing and allowing it to flow where it flows. Because of your videos that I've seen of you, Sherry, you are on an adventure, and it is not an easy one. There's nothing easy about your life right now, and I understand that. And I don't know how you can change it to be in a place that is more, or that is that is less, that is more pleasant. Spirit is not showing me that. But what it is telling me is this about the embracing of change. Looking at your past life, looking at where you were before you came to here, and some of those things you need to learn from, and some of those things you need to let go of. But all throughout this experience, you have to have patience and trust in this process, that you're going through will lead you into more joy. And so the words that come here, one of the words that popped up is donkey, donkey, yes. And we think of donkey and the word donkey, and what does the word donkey mean to you? And oftentimes, and donkey, it mean being stubborn. And are you being stubborn in your life? But donkeys are also these loving and loyal creatures. So there's stubbornness, but there's also this love and kindness, kind and gentleness. So a donkey is, yes, it is stubborn, and it does its own will. Donkeys follow their own path. So following your own path. Follow your path. You're following your own path. You're doing your will. Maybe you're stubborn, but at the same time, there's this affection, this great affection you have, this gentleness and this loving kindness of your spirit, of your creative spirit that you are expressing in your world. The other word I see is bury. Bury. And what comes to mind here all right, Lord, you can ask questions, but please don't harass the people in my chat, please. if because I'm if because other people have different um they have different beliefs and different views, and I have a set of beliefs and set of views, and they may be different than yours. And so I'm asking if you to be kind and respectful to the people who are in the chat. So can you do that for me, Lord? Can you please do that for me? To be kind and respectful. So what Desiree's experience is, you were asking questions, but you're not. You were asking questions of me. You're not asking questions of the people in my chat. So that's what I'm because for some people, Lord, they have their own religious path that they're on. You know, they may be Hindu, they may be Buddhist, they may be an indigenous person who is following their own indigenous religions and philosophies and so forth. And so that's why I'm asking. You can ask her the question, yes, but um, some people do feel like that they're being harassed by someone who is, and that's it has a and I'm not saying that that is what your spirit is, but I'm just asking you to be respectful of other people's beliefs. And sometimes, you maybe want to ask, but we all have different beliefs. So that's all I'm going to say. So in this word bury, and looking for what stuff in your past needs to be uncovered. What stuff in your past needs to be uncovered? Or what thing and so generally it's those many of those things that we have, these past things, they can cause us to not be well. Now, I'm not talking about, let's say, if you have some physical ailment and all that those things you need to go see your physician about. We're not talking about those things in health and well-being. We're thinking of more of these energies, these more psychological things, the more psychological things, or things like of that nature. And I'm not, for entertainment purposes only, putting this out there. That's kind of where I'm putting that. And so, okay, all right. And the reason, Lard, that I bring this up like that, it looks like this stream is pixelated. My internet has been bad ever since there was a storm and I lost internet and services for a week. So I apologize for the bad internet. I'm actually plugged in into Ethernet, and it shouldn't be bad. So, um, anyways, bury. And so for those who are okay, you can still hear. All right, that's good that you can still hear. So Sherry looks into this. She'll have to listen. And what is it that you have buried way down deep? That is affecting your well-being, that is affecting your well-being right now. I know the things that I have buried. And some of those things, I wish them to stay buried. Because we are all on this path and we all need healing. We all need healing. Because none of us are perfected beings. Of course, Jesus was a perfected being. We are all in need of healing. And then the other word that came into my mind on here was sow. And so, we're looking at sowing your seeds. And so the seeds have been sowed, and now it's about embracing what is, having patience, having patience for what is. There's a lot to learn in suffering. And then there's the tip of the iceberg. So you're kind of just at the tip of it all. And you have to take the iceberg, because if you have this sense of down underneath and you look at the iceberg, there's the tip of the iceberg, and flowing down underneath it is all this stuff that is below the waterline, buried down deep. So Spirit is asking you to do more self-reflection, more looking down inside. The tip of the iceberg. So sowing seeds. So this could mean seeds that were sowed in the past are growing into plants. But there's new seeds to be sown. Now, I'm going to go and give you one other message here. Yes. Well, let us see what Mother Mary has to say for you, Sherry. And then if anybody else has any questions, I can ask them for you. And I really apologize that the internet is pixelated today. What does Mother Mary want to say to you? So this one card popped out, and I'm going to read it for you. I'm hope you can't see it, so you're going to just have to listen very carefully. This is Our Lady of Peaceful Change. What I'll do for you, Sherry, is I will take, when this is done and over with, I will take pictures of this and I'll post just the pictures on the community page. You can listen to this reading and you can look at those pictures. Our Lady of Peaceful Change. Our Lady comes to you now to allay your fears. Everything is going to work out for the best, Sherry. Even significant or perhaps unwanted change can become surprisingly gentle when you trust in her protection and care. There is healing wisdom beneath what is unfolding, and your soul shall prosper from it in due course. Be kind to yourself. Trust yourself and trust in Mother Mary, and all will be well. And so, what the picture is of is there's Mary, and it's one of these other ones that is kind of like, and there is a child, and that child is you, and you are in this loving embrace. You're folded under her clothes and being, and you are content to be in this space. That you need the embrace of a mother. That's what I'm getting for you. My understanding, Lord, is that to impinge upon somebody else's free will choice is the greatest evil that one can inflict upon another. Welcome, Kat. And so this is the image, and I apologize that you can't, nobody can see anything. All right. So you can see it. All right. We'll put this away. I know what they are, so when maybe I'll just, yeah, put these things away. I like this deck. I'm, this one has been, and this is this is Mary Magdalene. On the candle there is Mary of Guadalupe. Okay. Oh, okay. They have left. They had a question, and I was too slow. Well, they were back quite a ways. What is well, what you have essentially two choices. You have the choice to choose darkness, or you have the choice to choose light. And eventually everything works. The darkness or light, those are the two things essentially. Sometimes things you think are light are actually darkness, and some things you think are darkness are actually light. Ilatalk, Ilatalks. Are you still there? You still there? Let me see if I can find her question. I don't see the. I'll have to go back. Does anybody else have questions? Okay, she's there. There's a question? Oh, okay, I don't know that. What will the result be? When I'm. Hmm. Now it's almost like asking a question of I got these lottery tickets and will they be winners? The test to become a judge. Well, she's probably is she not still here? Hmm. I guess I can try and answer it, but does anybody else have a question that is other than a theological one? Well, because it also depends on is it all about power and control, or is it all about something else? Okay. Okay. I don't have any questions for you. Um, but oh, it looks like it's starting to clear up a little bit. I guess I can try and answer that question. I'm gonna do that, and if they come back, they come back. If not, they don't. I don't know how to say that. Say that. Since Sherry isn't here, and I often do answer people's questions that aren't here, I will give it a go. ILATALK talk kiss talk kiss. Will this person pass the test? The judge test. Okay, 12, 27, 25. All right. Remember to be grateful because you matter, and let us clear the air. Mainly, well, I will. Let me. I'll do this, and then we'll talk a little bit about theology. Mother Mary, Ilantakis has a question. Mother Mary, Ilantakis has recently taken a test and wants to know if it was a passing score or not. Okay, you're not there, so we will trust the random pull of the cards to see what they say. We're going to do a 3-card yes no. Did Ilatakis pass the test? Did Ilatakis pass the test? Welcome, Mama Sushi. Did Ilatakis pass the test? The person probably also already knows about this, and so they're just testing me. I'm gonna guess that that's the question, so they can do a ha ha. They got it wrong. But all right, let me put my mind into the right now. Well, the answer is yes, Ilatakis. It is a yes with a question mark. It's a soft yes. So, yes with a question mark. So, there's an openness that it may not be a complete yes. And so, the numerical value of this is 11 and 6, 17. Is a 17 up value and a 5 down value. So if we're looking into this maybe, and what is it maybe we just look at the spirit behind the question and what is here. And we're looking at, you had difficult choices that you had to make when you took that test. It was difficult choices, but you chose the answers that were in balance with what you know, and sort of in a harmonious relationship between you and your knowledge. You have the knowledge. You applied your knowledge with your creativity, with your intuition, because you have learned this subject matter so deeply that you can intuitively know what is the right thing within the law that you have studied, to create within the law. And you have this sense of this inspiration. Your cup is full of this knowledge. You are able to create, but you are able to know. And so this is the sense, this is the energy that is behind that, and it is that you are manifesting this knowledge into your reality. You're manifested this knowledge because one, you are at the beginning of a new path, and two, the number 7 refers to you have taken the time to study and to reflect on everything that you have learned as a lawyer, everything that you know about the law. And you went into that test with this knowledge and you manifested with your knowledge what you needed to know to answer those questions. Now, in this 5 that is in a downward position, there is a resistance to some change, a resistance to be challenged. So maybe this test wasn't challenging. And so in this sense of being 5 and up energy would be to be challenged, but 5 and a down energy, it maybe you didn't feel adequately challenged by this test. And so that is where this yes comes from. And then the sense of this other card of the being poverty of knowledge, but we're looking at that you don't have a poverty of knowledge because you were well prepared when you took that test. And so most likely, Spirit is saying most likely you passed this test because you had the knowledge to do so. You have the knowledge to be a judge, but there is a question on it as to whether you passed it or not. So yes, most likely you did, but there's still a chance that you got a few questions wrong. All right, Ilatakis, if you are listening, or if you come back and listen, there is your response. I'm going to come in and I'm going to go write down her handle and I'm going to flag her into this. I got to get that. So I'm going to just pause right here and back everything back in order to flag her into that. So if she comes back to look at the answer, she can do so. I want to make sure I get the handle exactly right. Ilatakis. Okay, you guys are talking about food. That's good. You're entertaining yourself. Ilatakis. And so we're looking at, that's the at, and we're looking at I, L, A, T, A, L, K, S, S. Okay, Ilatakis. All right, now, so at, oh, so at, okay, so did anybody else have a question here, or do we just want to go and talk about other questions, and we talk about theology, or we talk about stuff like that? Now, as far as the Catholic here, um, I cannot prove to you with exact scriptures about the legality of divination within the Bible, but I can say that this stuff exists. And where the prophets used it was in the casting of lots. But then there's this other thing that exists within that time period, is that those synagogues, when they uncovered those synagogues, tiled into the floor was the zodiac. And so there was a sense that what we think of as astrology, that they did astrology, because those astrological signs were very important in their in the religion. Now, if we look at, let's say, um, the Hebrew mysticism, and there is power in the letters of Hebrew. There's power because, and so if you were to have on you wrote down on a piece of paper, or you wrote down on a like a tile or something, one of the 22 letters of the Hebrew alphabet, or you did some automatic writing, that's all a form of divination. If you've ever done any, journaling, have you ever sat down, Lord, have you ever sat down with a piece of paper and a pen and asked the question, what am I feeling? Well, that's divination. You are divining within yourself. You are using and asking that question. And that's actually the same principle of what's going on here. It's the same principle. Now, I'm going to ask you another question here. I don't know if you're still there. Have you ever gone into a Bible or a book and picked up a random page and just looked at it, and then some word just popped out at you? That's divination too. That's also divination. And people do this, and you look, and so you're looking through the randomness. There's a sense of finding order in the randomness and finding, and so with all these words, Jesus spoke this parable. A man had a fig tree growing in his vineyard, and he came out looking for fruit on it, but did not find any. He said to the vine dresser, "Look here. For 3 years now I have come in search of fruit on this fig tree and found none. Cut it down. Why should it clutter up the ground?" In an answer, the man said, "Leave it another year while I hoe around it and manure it. Then perhaps it will bear fruit." If not, then we should cut it down. Just wait and see what happens. Just because it looks like it's withered or it looks like it's dying, it doesn't mean that it is. Because there's always hope of a resurrection. There's always hope. then a new day will dawn. And you do not know the purpose of something just by looking at it. You may look at something and see it has no purpose. But that thing, that item, that living being that is messing up your life has purpose that you cannot imagine what it is or why. Oh, well, hi. Hello, friend. Unfortunately, everything's pixelated today. It's been pixelated ever since the storm. Maybe Sunday is like a high traffic day. I don't really understand. I am plugged into the Ethernet, Mr. K. I am plugged into the Ethernet, which means that the Wi-Fi would be even worse than this. I wonder if I can wait. What is the quality here? Auto quality. Yeah, okay. It shows it should be a 1080p live stream. It looks mysterious and you like it. Okay. All right. Well, nobody has any questions. It's 3:36. Oh, and V has arrived. It's good to see a Chinese disco babe. Do you have a question? And um did I chase the practicing Catholic off? I didn't mean to, but happy holidays. We got New Year's Eve coming up. Maybe if if Lord, the other guys, that guy's still here. I kind of concentrate a lot more on those types of questions. Yeah, I concentrate more on those kinds of questions on my other channel. I mean, I can do that here, but I just didn't want it to be distracting. Yeah. Someday Desiree is going to come on one of my shows, maybe even this one too. I'd probably get some more views if I had a pretty face like that on here. So you have a question on Warren. Okay. All right. I am ever thankful for Chinese Disco Babe for supplying me with questions because she always has some questions about something. Okay. All right. And then maybe we Oh, I appreciate that. Appreciate that. Of course, the last time I was on V, I was yeah, I know, and your life happens. Well, Desiree, we're gonna have a all right, Kirk. I will read you a question. I'll do you next, Kirk. I'll do a random page number. So C D B Chinese Disco Babe. That's a huge mouthful. 12, 27, 25. Yeah. Uh, so what do you want? What 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 is it that you are seeking, V, about this guy Warren? What are you seeking? So you want to know if you'll ever talk anymore. Um, hmm. Okay. Well, let me phrase the question this. Will if I do remember what your name starts with a V. Will V and W ever talk again? Well, I know when it was like me and Kay, we never talked again. You know, but but a lot of her yes no questions, Desiree, were came up. Some were definite yeses, but there were a lot of maybes. Okay, let's go in and will V and W ever talk again? All right. So let's mix and match the cards up. Oh, Kay, if you're still there, I think my oven is going out. From the time that we last spoke, I turned it on this morning, and the instead of like the bottom burner coming on, the bottom element coming on, the broiler came on, and so yeah, that oven is. I think it's. But maybe that's when that F2 sensor. That's what it does. Hmm. Unfortunately, V, if you really want to know, you're going to actually have to literally call them. This is your favorite part. Then we'll go with the other one, the other one of these other brushes. So so K is in not cat, but K is in the other one whose channel name starts with a D. Uh, my oven, my stove is starting to go. But you said it was worth repairing. It's like 20 years old. But anyway, let's go move on, and I'm gonna stop thinking about my stove that's malfunctioning. But I baked bread last night in the Dutch oven on top of it. Yeah, you're gonna actually have to talk to him. But let's just see. We'll just see what's gonna happen. Will V and W ever talk again? And that's the question. And let's clear the air here. Let's bring our mind right to this moment. Bring our mind right to here. This is me talking to me because I'm distracted by my stove and all you guys too. Okay, go come back to here. Mother Mary, V has a question. Mother Mary, V wants to know about W. They are in an estranged relationship right now. Will they ever talk again? So, Chinese Disco Babe, I'm going to need your participation in this since you are here. I'm mixing these cards up. I'm going to riffle shuffle them 3 times. Then after that, I'm going to need you to work with me here. All right. I'm shuffling, and you need to tell me when to stop. We're doing a three card yes no spread. When do I stop? Okay, so do you want the cards over or under? You want these ones over or under here? Over or under? Over or under? Okay, under. I need a bigger table here. Well, so, V, maybe you'll talk again. So what we got here is things are going, the energy of the movement towards communication is not going in the direction of an actual conversation ever happening. But it's not to say that it won't happen. There's a lot of good memories about this. There's a lot of good memories about the past. You're thinking you have these good memories from it. And he has good memories too. I'm assuming that. Because it's not all bad. You know, you were together and then you were not. And why ever, what, I think I read about why this split happened and 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 so forth. And whether it is a romantic thing or not, but you are seeking only if you will talk again. And the answer to that is maybe. And the controlling factor is if you're going to be waiting for him to reach out and talk to you, that's probably not going to happen. If you want to talk to him, you're going to have to get on the phone and talk to him. The Page of Wands here speaks of a new direction coming at this from a new way, a new inspiration, new passion, new fire. That passion need not be romantic in orientation because over here we're looking at it's these it's governed more by nostalgia than anything else. And so this passion that exists between you is from the past. It's from being honest with yourself about the past. But there's this of this Eight of Wands, and in the direction it is sort of chaotic. The energy is going in a different direction. Over and under. Oh, Maria, I wasn't going there. You're distracting me. You're distracting me, guys. All right. And then what do we have with our up and down energies? And they're very good. And then if you're like a real comedian, you're going there with, oh, it's up and down, over and under, up and down, top and bottom. Yeah. 11 and 6. 12, 13, 14, 15, 17. 11 plus 6. 12, 13, 15, 17. And 8. Interesting. So, a manifestation. The manifestation of this happening is kind of stuck. You have a new beginning hitting up against new thoughts. New thoughts on this. But what's sitting on this other side is the manifestation of it is completely blocked. And so a manifestation, if you want to look at it as 8 and 8, you have an 8 that's positive, like this communication can manifest, but at the same time, this communication is blocked. So it's sort of in a sense of the word that comes to mind here. It's in a being withdrawn. It's withdrawn. It's the energy is withdrawn from occurring. Yeah, that's what I see is that it is there is a possibility here, but you both don't want to budge. Yeah, that's exactly. You can look at it that way. And so something has to happen in order to break that bond. And so you're not ready to go. There's a vision, but not ready to go. You and your husband get like that blocked. So on one side, and again, it's like this vision, this vision to go cast those seeds out for to move your ships out into the sea to see what's going to manifest out there. But in this sense, this card is that this energy is blocked from happening. There's no clear plan, like with this Eight of Wands. No clear plan, no clear goal on how this can proceed. So we have 1, 7, 17. Anyways, we look at it from this standpoint. The new beginning is blocked. All right. I hope that made sense. Now, Mr. K wanted me to do another random page, and I will do another random page for K. All right, let's go. You wanted to talk with your person, but you lost hope. Okay. we'll put you over here. And for this one, Mr. K wants a page number 12, 27, 25. So today's the 20, 12, 27, 25. Okay. All right. I will get you that, Mr. K. But let's clear the air first before we go get another page. Mother Mary, K wants a page. Okay. Let us arrive to the right page number. Okay. We will. So this rock here came from Istanbul back in my Seattle days. And along with journeying with the Catholic Church, I also journeyed with a progressive Nazarene church. It was sort of a storefront church. They were Nazarenes. Very hippie. It was a very hippie-like progressive church. And I was journeying with them while their pastor was doing the necessary education so that he could become a pastor himself. But one of the members there was from Canada, and he is a missionary in another part of the world where it is illegal for Christians to be missionaries in one of the Muslim worlds. And so he's been there for 15 years now. But he traveled into, he traveled there, and he asked me what I wanted. I said I wanted a rock. And he got me this rock from Istanbul. Istanbul is where the Eastern Catholic Church was headquartered in Byzantium. And this rock is very precious to me, and I'm going to use that as my base in order to get the page number. So I just got to find my 0 point on this little thing. I have it marked on here in a black pen. I just wanted to tell that story about this rock and what its significance is to me. And we'll just kind of hold on to it, and we'll get a page number. And there is 1,530 pages in that missal, and we will get a page for Kirk K. The first number is 5. And this one actually goes on to 1 to 9, but I forgot to put the 0 in it. But we know where the 0 is at. Between 1 and 9 is 0. The number is 4, 5, 4. And so for those out there, this is called bibliomancy. Eight, the number 8. So looking for a page 548. But we can look at what is the number, what is the energy behind 548. So we're looking at 9, 8 and 8 is 16, 17. It's actually, the number that is behind this is that of manifestation, bringing into reality something new. That's what it could be. Or it could be something new, or you're manifesting, because it could be either what we take 5, some change, 4, your foundations, and 8. 5, 4, 8. And with 5, we're looking at change, challenge, or freedom. And making a change can result in freedom. Making a change can result in a new, can result in challenge and being challenged. And we take the number 4. This pertains to foundations. That building the house strong and working on 1 foundations, and 8 about manifestations. And then we have, and these tops actually came from Japan. Both of these tops, when we had Japanese exchange students when I was younger, they're Japanese tops. Okay, going to page 548 out of this St. Joseph's Missal, which was given to me in 1997 when I was confirmed as a Catholic. They also gave me a Bible, and I've been looking for that for a while, and I don't know where I put it. When I moved, I put it away, and I don't know where it's at. Maybe there's somebody who's way more psychic than me that can tell me where it was that I put that Bible. I've been kind of looking for. I really kind of want to find it because it has all my notes in it over the years, or when I went to graduate school and was going through studying theology and studying Bible and so forth. I have all those notes in there. Things that I was thinking about things. But here it is. Oh, this is 558. We're looking at 548, not 558. All right, Mr. K, this is your page. 548. I'll read the whole page. Well, Cat, if he's not still in the house, I have his phone number. So he's like, I've known him for ever, like since I was like a teenager, practically still a teenager. So it's like someone who's like so close to me that it's like family. I probably shouldn't have put that out there, but I did. My family is here. And my family is very important to me. You know what? I don't use pendulums or dowsing rods um, and stuff like that. All right, let's go here. Page 548. So we have a reading from the first book of Kings. Elijah came to a cave from the mountain of God, Horeb, where he took shelter. Then the Lord said, "Go outside and stand on the mountain before the Lord. The Lord will be passing by." A strong and heavy wind was rending the mountains and crushing rocks before the Lord. But the Lord was not in the wind. After the wind there was an earthquake, but the Lord was not in the earthquake. After the earthquake there was a fire, but the Lord was not in the fire. After the fire there was a tiny whispering sound. When he heard this, Elijah hid his face in his cloak and went and stood at the entrance of the cave. This is the word of the Lord. Psalm 85. Lord, let us see your kindness and grant us your salvation. I will hear what God proclaims, the Lord, for he proclaims peace. Near indeed is his salvation for those who fear him. Glory dwelling in our land. Lord, let us see your kindness and grant us your salvation. Kindness and truth shall meet, justice and peace shall kiss. Truth shall spring out of the earth, and justice shall look down from heaven. Lord, let us see your kindness and grant us your salvation. The Lord himself will give his benefits. Our land shall yield its increase. Justice shall walk before him, and salvation among the way of his steps. Lord, let us see your kindness and grant us your salvation. In the sense that salvation means it means union with God. It means to be reunited with God or with your own spirit, however you want to interpret that. To work on your foundations, that small voice. Because God is not out there. God is in here. It's like not out in the, because there's a parable in the Gospel of Thomas that was pretty much exactly the same thing, in that you had, wow, this thing's clear now. You know, cut a piece of wood but no, it's like well, it's a repeating theme that exists out there, is that, well, there's one sense of that where you need to look in quiet places. You know, chasing after the shiny object. And that's kind of what I see in that little story, is about not chasing after the shiny object, but look in unexpected places, like in a cave, in the darkness. To go into that dark cave and listen. And listen. You know, there was something I saw on Next Level Soul the other day, and it was talked about. It was an exercise, a spiritual exercise that some people do, and it's kind of like, and you go into an ultra dark room, and you just sit there in the quiet, because in the darkness, that's where you can see the light, to see your own light. to see the light of spirit. In this Mary Magdalene card, yeah, in this Mary Magdalene card here, and surrounded by, out in there is this, the darkness of space, but inside the darkness is this spirit. It is Mary Magdalene's spirit, how she connects up with the greater spirit, with her spirit and the greater spirit. It's interesting that this card is framed in the darkness, but outside in the darkness, there are all these little lights out there, little guides. But it's in the darkness of the tomb, and within this icon of Mary Magdalene, there's the egg of truth, this red heart truth. But then there's the anointing oils. The anointing oils, because Mary Magdalene took the anointing oils, and when they wrapped Jesus and put him into the tomb, she had the oils to anoint his body after he came down off the cross, as customary of their tradition. And they were kind of like oils, like frankincense and myrrh and other kinds of things that were used. But the oil is also representative of the healing oil, because it wouldn't have been something that a woman would do, but this great honor because this woman did it, and how important female women are. And when we spin forward into the 3rd and the 4th century, the role of women in the church was diminished and squelched, because the church listened to other voices. The voices of Rome were very masculine and patriarchal. The voice of woman was squelched. Maria, this is it's cedar. It has a nice smell to it, but it may not be. It might just be a piece of plywood that was paint. Actually, it smells. It has a nice smell to the wood. In the dark, there are no distractions, and so in that story where page 548. And so you're not being distracted by the big, loud, scary noises in the sky, not being distracted by the wind, not being distracted by all that stuff out there. But you go to the cave, go into the darkness, and listen. Listen to what that cave has to say. As Elijah discovered that when he heard that voice, he covered his face, and he knew that voice was of God or source or whatever that spirit means to you. Okay, so Maria has a question. Well, I guess this will be the last question here. We're popping up on 4:22, and I started this thing almost on time too. $12:27, 25. And what was Maria's question? Welcome, Pharaoh. Yeah, well, I had to take some time off. I had some things, some issues. We all have life issues. I had to take some time off. Sherry Willis. Sherry, I actually if you go back to the beginning of this, because you asked a question a long time ago, Sherry, and I went over a question for you, Sherry Willis. I think yeah, that's right. I did do a question for you. Okay. You've been wanting to talk with my person and you've lost hope. Okay. I want to talk with my person. So you're asking the question, is there hope? All right. There's always hope. Oh, you didn't ask a question? Oh. I thought you did ask a question. Maybe that was someone else. I've been wanting to talk with my question, but you lost hope. So you weren't asking a question. All right. So nobody has any more questions then. Oh, I get you. I get you. I get you. I get you. I didn't see that. Okay. All right. All right. So I guess then we're done here. And so Sherry, I did. If you're still there, are you there? Um, I I respond. I responded to someone else before you. I did the page number for Mr. K. Was there any other questions? Much of that, yeah. And Kat, I answered her question the other day. Okay, all right, all right. I will do that. A general reading for Pharaoh. Okay. Okay. All right. This will be the last question. Getting dark again. I will need to take some more walks before dark. Oh, this has been a blessed day. Just a blessed day. So we have Pharaoh. A-R, Pharaoh. And I'm not going to do any more of that name. So we got 12, 27, 25, and this has been a very productive day. And on 999 show, I'm going to do a program tomorrow afternoon. On Tuesday, I'm not. I'm going to go visit my sister and some of her children and the great grand nieces and so forth. But all right. Okay, we want advice for Pharaoh. All right. For entertainment purposes only, I guess we better put that out there. That looks cool with the mirror. I'm actually getting an actual mirror for that. I know the black one works the best, but let's go clear the air. I'm starting to get tired. Let's have I hope the sound is good. I hope the sound is good. Let's do another brush. Let me get one of these brushes that gets better noise out of it. How about this one here? All right. Thank you. You would hope that a $40 USB-C mic would sound good. All right. Well, I'm using yeah. Now quality has increased. Yeah, that's good. Still, we pay so much money for our internet service, and of course, Mr. K thinks my router needs to be replaced, which it probably does. All right, let's get to Pharaoh's question. Mother Mary, Pharaoh has a question. Mother Mary, Pharaoh wants to know, is there any advice that you have for him? So, Pharaoh, if you're still there, I want to ask you a question before we begin. Do you want this deck or this deck? This one, the Career and Life Oracle deck, or Celestial Insights? Which deck would you like me to draw from? The second one here, the Celestial Insights. Okay. All right. So I am going to ask you when I should stop shuffling, but I'm going to riffle shuffle 3 times. And then I'm going to begin the overhand shuffle, and then I will draw 3 cards, but you need to tell me when to stop shuffling. and I'm starting to shuffle right now. So one just popped out. So that was. So tell me when to stop shuffling. I'm looking. I'm waiting. Oh, I got 10 likes on this. Stop. I stopped right there. Okay. All right. Okay. First, it says you need to work on gratitude. To examine your life, to self-reflect, to spend more time in self-reflection, because this is very important. It's not just for you, Pharaoh, it's for all of us, that we all need to examine our lives and see what it is that we have been given, because Spirit gives us everything that we need to live. You know, as the in a parable where Jesus talks about the lilies in the field. They do not spin, reap, or sow. That you need to be like the lilies in the field, because they are given everything they need to survive. And they sit there with their happy faces, open to the sun, soaking in the rays of the sun, in joy for what they have been given. We have been given much, and we need to be grateful and for that which we have been given. To practice gratitude in your day. Be grateful for what you have been given, because you matter. You matter. You matter to this universe. We are all part of the universe. We were all created from the universe. We were created from all this energy that is, all that is. You matter. We all matter. We are important. Be grateful for what you have been given. To spend some time every day in quiet, thinking about, yes, and there is that as well. But be be appreciative of what it is that you have in your life. Adopt a more positive mindset. It's very easy to slip into the realms of woe is me. Why did this happen to me? What's wrong with me? Easy ways to think. But Spirit is asking you to not do that anymore, and rather to think about all the positive things in your life. That's the first spirit that came out. The next thing is of sturdiness, and that is by building a strong foundation in your life. So you need to work on your foundations, the foundations of your life. Maybe the foundations of your financial health and well-being. That too, if you are struggling, we are all struggling, because this world is hard. Life is hard. So gaining some perspective, being thankful for what you have in the material sense, and building a strong foundation. Maybe that means, maybe, Pharaoh, this means looking at your budgets, looking at what you spend money on, being mindful of those resources that you have. I mean, if you're just working on a wage job, and the way things go, the harder you work, sometimes it feels like you don't get any more. Now, maybe in finding your, being this building your base and creating long-term stability, sometimes that means making career moves. But the cards aren't really talking about that. I'm just kind of talking about that. And there's this river that's running through the bridge, a sturdy bridge, and sometimes you gotta take a new path. But what this spirit is also talking about here is be mindful and watch out for surprises, those surprise synchronicities, the coincidences, and pay attention to those. And those signs will help you to find the way forward. And so be mindful, in this sense of when you start practicing gratitude, you start reflecting upon your life, you start looking at what you do have. You build your foundations. You know what you have, and you're thankful for what you have. And you see that you have much. And you work on the foundations of your life, and those are your both physical foundations and your spiritual life, because we all need work here. All of us need work here. I know that I am not fully enlightened or whatever. I know that. Then this sense of the surprise synchronicities, these things that pop into your life, the unexpected. It's that in that Bible verse of the page 548, it's, being still enough that you can hear those voices that are speaking in the dark. All right. Ration your resources. Be prepared. Yes, but that could also mean that I don't know. I'm gonna draw a card here. You can let's go give it another different shuffle here, and yeah. All right, Pharaoh, I want you to tell me when to stop shuffling here. We're going to go look at some numbers, and we're going to look at a word or two on the Crosswords Oracle for you and see if there's any specific... Oh, you know what? This one just popped out. And so I guess that's what it is. Yours one's just popped out. It floated right out of the deck. 25. 2 and 5. We're looking at... And so we're basically the basic numbers here that we're looking at, and 2 and 5. Where did my pin run off to? Yeah, so it stopped there. So 25. And we're looking at 2 and 5. I feel like I've gone over 2 and 5 already today. The meaning of 25. Meaning of 25 in numerology. So, the number itself, according to the Google, is about manifesting or your spiritual growth and so forth. But if we just look at the numbers themselves, 2, which is about balancing the light and the darkness in your life, the balancing the male and the female. But there's another thing that you're going to look at with the number 2, is that in the number 1, that's the prime source. Because in the beginning there was only this, and then came the number 2. The balancing between the 1 and the 2, the light and the dark, the male, the female, the yin and the yang. And 5, the change, the challenge, the freedom. And the 2 and the 5 combined in this sense. The number 7. The number 7. About the contemplation and the thinking about what it is. It's kind of like the number 7 is kind of like the hermit. In the hermit, which is this guy standing there looking at his light. He's in the dark and he's looking at a lantern, and that lantern, that light represents a lamp that burns with neither wick nor fuel. It is not an earthly light. It is a spiritual light. It is a energy light, this prime energy light of gazing into that light to find yourself. So the 2 and the 5, so in that gazing into that light to find yourself, it's about waking to that light in your life. The 2, the 5, making those changes, being challenged enough that you can become free to see who it is that you are. And then a word. The first word that just popped out at me was meteor. And you think of the meteor strike that is like a little light that flashes into your life really fast. Maybe that is a guide that has come to show you the way, but that guide is only there for a moment. In those synchronistic surprises, it might be a chance meeting with somebody, and pay attention to what it is they have to say, because you may not get the chance to ask them another question later. And then there's time. In time, this can happen, or it has already happened, to be mindful of the time that you have. Then there's this other word, this manner. And I think of like a manor, like a house, like a building. And so we have that sense of building a sturdy house for yourself. The manor. And is that like a fancy house? Like a temple? A sturdy house. And then there's that egg, a new egg that you need to nurture and to see what hatches out of it. Because in time, this egg will hatch. In time, this egg will become something new. And only for a short time does this egg exist as an egg. Because eventually it will hatch and become a bird. That angel flying into your life to help you, guide you off the island that is your soul. I don't know if that helped. On the other side of that card, Mr. K is the number 25. All right, all y'all. We'll do a. This is for, and Mother Mary. A word for Mother Mary to Pharaoh, and so you get to go, if you're still there, you get to help me to shuffle these cards one more time because we are still on you. You know, this, I cannot riffle shuffle this. So this is a message from Mother Mary. And you can tell me when to stop. You want this card here? You want this card? So this is over or under? Over or under? Over or under? Over, under, okay? So this is your card. This is the image. It's Our Lady, and she has this vivid, fiery hair. Her cheeks are glowing from her encounter with this silvery heart. A silvery heart ringed in fire, surrounded by 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Wait, 1, 2, 4, 5. 7. 7. Look. 7. Surrounded by the number 7. 7 of these lilies. 7 flowers. 7 4-leaf clovers that are white instead of green. luck. So that number 7, when you are out in the world, think about angel number 777, the number 7. 7 plus 7 is 14. 1 plus 4 is 5. Our Lady of the Whispering Heart. The truest guidance is not always the loudest voice. Sometimes fear and doubt yell while love and trust speak quietly but consistently from deep within the heart. Trust in the truths of your heart even when they seem quieter than the voices of fear within or around you. Listen and apply the soft, steady wisdom felt within with patience and confidence. Our Lady of the Whispering Heart. And so, just like the page that I read for Mr. K, is that whispering voice in the cave, that meteor striking, that that meteor or falling star streaking across the sky. And in this case, Mother Mary is here for you with the glow of that spirit, that encounter with the divine light within. All right. That's what I got for you. The number 7. 7. Meteor Manor Island. Time. Egg. Synchronicity. Gratitude. And foundations. Thank you, everyone. Thank you, Desiree. Thank you, Pharaoh. Thank you, Maria. Thank you, Dee Dee Tweedle. I've never been able to say that. You're there. Thank you, Kat. Thank you, Sherry. Thank you, Maria. Thank you, Mama Sushi. Thank you, Kat. Thank you, Chinese Disco Babe. Thank you, Sherry. And I'm so glad that you popped in, Sherry, because I did do your reading first. And you had asked a question about a month ago, Sherry, and I hope that the message I have for you is welcome. And thank you, Lord. Thank you, the guy. Thank you, Catholic guy, asking questions about theology. That's right. Don't forget to like the video and subscribe to the channel if you haven't subscribed to the channel. I'll be back next Sunday afternoon and probably another time in the middle of this week too. Work on doing 2 of these readings a week. And then with 999 show, I will be doing something tomorrow afternoon. Hopefully the Lord, yeah, I know that he meant well. Because I wanted to, but there was a time, and Mama Sushi remembers a time, and when there was a fellow who came in who was actually who was harassing people with the Bible, and that's why I brought that comment up, because I didn't want anybody to think that I'm just letting, if they're trolls come and have free reign over this. in this spirit because, um, anyways, that's why. But yeah, he probably never come back. But maybe he will come back. But if he really wants to talk to me, he could come and talk to me on the 999 show. Maybe when I get the phone numbers, a phone number that is like not my own phone number. You're quick to time out, yeah. Yeah, I know. But sometimes when I'm in the middle of a reading, it's kind of hard to time somebody out. Because, you could get like a whole lot of chats can go by where you get a whole lot of people who are being harangued by whatever they're doing, and because see one of the things is and as you know is if you're doing a tarot channel or something like that you don't know if that person who's coming in, are they doing that for reactions, or they, I don't know. I really don't know. I don't want to make judgments like that. But this is very successful reading. It's a very successful reading. Of course, I felt way more um, yeah. Yeah, I feel oh, it's almost dark now. Probably my fire is about ready to go out too. The wonderful. Good night, Pharaoh. Well, thank you. I mean, I felt more connected the other day. The other day, I'm still kind of like, I don't know. It was just more connected, but anyways, these are the decks that I used tonight. The decks that I didn't use were this one and this one and this one or this one. These are the decks I didn't use. But they are here. Yeah, dark there. It's dark now. Yeah. It's almost dark. I want to take another walk if I can. I don't need to bring any more wood in, and at least I got my mother out for a walk and the dog out for a walk before. Well, wonderful. I am kind of closing up for the night here because I have on this wonderful. Please post your question. Oh, wait, hold on. Ask your question now, and I will get back to you with a video response later. How about that? Let me just write it down, and don't check back later, please. Let's just wait. Wait. This is what I will do. I'm gonna write your question down. I'm gonna write your handle down, and I'll flag you in a video response. And I probably will do it. Maybe I'll do it tonight, or maybe most likely not tonight. I'll probably do it tomorrow. And so it is. So your question is, will my PIO love return to me? And your name is Sabi. I remember you. And I'm going to write your handle down. This is Sabi's question is WONDERFULLAND 572. And that is your question. And you will get your question as a video response or the next time I come on. Yes. And I want to show you here. I want to show you, for anybody just lingering in and watching in, I want to show you, because I do this, and I have, now this is like under any of these posts here, you can come in, and I'll just repost one of these things. You can come in to one of these posts, questions wanted. You can ask your question, and I will post. You can ask your question under one of these, any one of these tabs here, and I'll post your question as a video response. And then you can come back and you can look at it later. So that's that. And I can't promise you exactly when I will get to your question, but I will try to. I'll either get to your question. Yeah, that's how I have it set up, Desiree. So because if you do it with your channel name there, and you rig your channel name right in there, then I'll go look at your channel, and I'll look at your handle, I'll look at your channel, and see, and then being able to connect up to you that way in order to ask that question. And so I will post another picture with the questions wanted at the top. And so for anybody looking in, you can just come on, post your question there, and either I'll get back to you with a video response, or the next time I open up a live stream, it might be a pop-up live, and then you will be the first question in line. And then accordingly, if there's 5 people there asking questions, I will address all of those questions in that next live stream. And then I'll flag the live stream back so you can go back in. You'll have your channel name in there, and I'll flag you in the live stream, or I will just do a separate video response for you. Yeah, so that's kind of what I got going on, because this is my second channel, and I am not doing lives here every day, and I'm doing lives almost every day on 999 show. So yeah. So like for instance, this is my main channel. This is my main channel, and it's I've done a lot of different things. Friday nights are becoming a talk show, which is eventually it will be a call-in talk show. Right now it's just not quite there yet, but that's kind of where it's going. But I do a lot of different kind of live streams here, a lot of random lives. I have a regular show that I do with Tarot Ask Backwards on Thursdays, and we are just talking about, because Jeff is like really kind of into kinds of things, and so we are talking about different things like that. And then there are my turkeys. They're not my turkeys. They're wild turkeys, and they come and they show up all the time. And then I've had I did a craft show twice now with multiple people. This was right before Christmas. I'm going to do another one of these in January. I'm going to do one of these once a month and have a crafting thing or because I am an artist as well, and so once a month there'll be a craft show or something like that, and then I just have a whole bunch of other random lives on 999 show, which is my main channel, and so there we go. And oh, a light just burned out, so I guess that is time to go, and I'm actually on limited time because I have roughly 2 hours of battery life on this phone because I have this USB mic plugged into it and I have the Ethernet plugged into it, and I'm not on a powered hub. I need to get a powered USB-C hub. Then I can do these live streams for way longer time than that. And yeah, maybe I need to, stuff like that. But I'm not there yet. That's kind of another thing that's coming up in the future is to get a powered. I think they cost like $15 and or so, a powered USB-C hub, one that I can do Ethernet on it, and I can plug in my microphone and everything else. All right. Thank you very much for hanging out here and for asking all the wonderful questions. Remember to be grateful for that which you have and because you matter and you matter. Blessings and peace to you. Thank you and good night. Bye bye.